What's up, guys? This is Acid Roots. I've got the debut album of Deuce, which is 9 Lives to review. Now, on Friday, he drops his second album, Invincible, but there's kind of been a 5 year gap, if you haven't noticed, between these projects, and then the fact that, he is no longer in Hollywood Undead. So we're going to talk about a few of these things. The first thing is I've seen some of like the fans of Hollywood Undead kind of say, me looking up reviews of it, they've said, Deuce was one of the better parts of Hollywood Undead, and the band started to go downhill without him. Now, really, Deuce was only on board with Hollywood Undead for 2 projects, which I have reviewed. First one being Swan Songs, and the second one being the live album with bonus songs, Desperate Measures. After about late 2009, Deuce left, and Hollywood Undead worked on their second album, which was American Tragedy. Now, I didn't really have a problem with that, but I did notice that I think some of the backlash and all the fury that went on between the fans and clashing fans, it kind of felt as if like American Tragedy didn't chart that well, but then Deuce didn't really chart that well either. The only song that really charted off of this project, the 9 Lives album, is the song America. And there were several singles released from it, but that, in my opinion, was the best song off 9 Lives, was America. And probably the second best song would be Help Me, but there were, he had the ability to make songs just like Hollywood Undead and probably on par or better, but it just didn't happen enough. And really, he needed that second and third single to chart. So, but I've listened to several of the songs. I'll talk about a few of the singles, like Let's Get It Crackin'. This is kind of a profane song, but I realize that you do need to be in that mood sometimes. So that's a good song, and if it gets too profane, just ignore it. It's worthwhile. It has an upbeat feel to it, so it's a good first single. I don't know if it's like the best of the singles on here, but it works as like a promo single or something. Came out before the album was released. Help Me, which is the second song you hear on this album, was released as a single also. And that, to me, that's the second best song on here. Has a rock feel on there. And Hollywood Undead is good at doing these rap rock songs, but it's kind of in between. I'm surprised this song didn't chart. I mean, it does have that pretty thorough feel to it. So, me trying to, basically figure out what other songs I wound up liking. Yeah, so I wound up liking 5 out of 11 songs on here. I'll talk about those. I wanted to discuss the singles, but it's just simpler to talk about the songs I liked because, I think supposing folks see where I'm coming from, you'll probably agree. So, 5 songs are Let's Get It Crackin', Help Me, America, I Came to Party, and Freaky Now. So we're going to talk about these. America, you should have probably heard that on the radio at least a couple times. It might have been a little while, but yeah, it's definitely a solid song there. Help Me has the rock feel to it, just like Hollywood Undead is good at doing. I Came to Party and Let's Get It Crackin' are kind of electronic. They have more electronic sound to it. It's not as rock based, but they're more electronic and just party music kind of stuff LMFAO would do. Or I'd probably say, light Rob Zombie, or to someone who does techno, these sorts of things. So it's close to techno, but it's more close to electronic. And I think you'll probably wind up liking this. But the third song that does that is Freaky Now. So there's 3 type songs that have this idea to them. There's really not that many songs like America, which we needed. I mean, that song talks about the things that are going on in America. And for 2012, before the politics, the Donald Trump and the, all this different stuff that was going on, this was pretty good for what it was. But there's not too many other songs like it. There are some thought provoking songs like, Till I Drop, Walk Alone, Nobody Likes Me, but we really could have used another song with some subject matter to it, and it kind of feels okay, America, but what else could we have used? So it maybe Help Me did that, and maybe that's the one that we're looking for, but obviously I just don't want to sum up Deuce as a one-hit wonder when he isn't. He has the hits, it's just that they didn't chart. So he's kind of in the trenches as far as like, music of California and just the West Coast and stuff. I mean, he has some affiliates like Blood on the Dance Floor, Jeffree Star, and, there's like some other group that he just collaborated with. I don't remember. From Ashes to New or something like that. But, some of these guys, he's made some new friends, but, I'm just going to say, most of the guests on here, they don't have Wikipedia pages. So pretty much if you find these guys on any other album, color me surprised. But, that's just kind of what we're looking at. So, um, yeah, so I give this album a 5 out of 10. I think I will buy this album, but just like when I bought Swan Songs, I was thinking, well, I like half the album, but 7 songs out of 14 is really not that bad. That's kind of how I feel with this one. 5 out of 11, that's a little weak, but if I wind up liking some of the, the thought-provoking songs, maybe that'll change some, but there were singles and other things around, so he knows how to have a good time, and that's what's important. And, as far as the social score, I would probably give it like a 6.5. I'd probably say that'd be about worthwhile just because he does have the charting songs, he does have the singles and probably the videos, but there just isn't like the next charting song. I think most people kind of said, "Oh yeah, Deuce, I remember him from 5 years ago." But that's kind of the problem, is he's been around this whole time, but no one really remembers him besides a couple songs off this album, which is kind of a pain in the ass. It's obvious. It's just like Hollywood Undead. They've had a scattershot chart career, but the thing is the songs are good, so I can't understand why they're not making it past their first or second single. But, that's obvious. Just to give this album, if you haven't tried it, fuck with it, and it'll probably be a hearty surprise. But, can this record be topped? I think, yeah, it could. I would have liked another song like America. I know that, these type songs are what Hollywood Undead Factory pumps out, so that's kind of the whole thing there. So the only other thing to say is, what the future is, and Deuce has an album coming out Friday, so that's his second thing. I very well might review that in addition to Blood on the Dance Floor and stuff. Stay tuned. Subscribe for more fun.